Every time the sun goes down, I let you take control. I can feel the paradise before my world implodes. And tonight had something wonderful. My bad habits lead to late nights, sitting alone. Conversations with a stranger I barely know. Swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use or do. My bad habits lead to white lies, stare at space, and I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, I was looking for a way out, now I can't escape. Nothing happens after two. It's true, it's true. My bad habits lead to you. My bad habits lead to you. My bad habits lead to you. Every pure intention ends when the good times start. Yes, guys, so I am back to do a tarot reading, and I have to say it is so on point, this song. Okay, I can only say the next month is going to be about bad habits, absolutely 100%. In terms of relationships, I would say the next 2 weeks we are going to have a complete revelation and insight and complete review of situations, scenarios, people, places, situations that we've been in before, okay, that are only going to come back round to make us once and for all see exactly those people, okay, situations and everything else that have gone on previously, to open our eyes, okay, about people, the way they treat us, the way they talk to us, the way they have conditioned our way of thinking. Okay, in terms of things where we've probably been reviewing, it's time to go, move on, repeating patterns, okay, those bad habits that we keep going back to, okay. Now, I previously did, I was going to come on, in fact I'm still going to do this, okay, short series of little mini readings rolling into one, okay. I tried to upload it, for some reason Facebook won't let me do readings, so I'm either going to have to do little mini readings, okay, and just plonk them out, or it's going to have to be I upload it and you need to watch it on YouTube, okay, because it's the only way I can get my videos up, okay. I don't want to limit them. I want to be able to do readings where they are an hour long. Most of you know that when I do personal readings, they are always an hour and a half long. I've never changed my prices. I don't have intentions to do any of that, okay. I want to give you what you need as you need it, and those people that come back for readings, I hope you know that that's what you will always get from me. So I'm going to try and redo the readings that I first did, okay, and they are all bad habits, guys. These are all bad habits of situations and scenarios are going to crop up, have cropped up, may crop up, and where you're going to see friendships. This isn't just relationships with our partners, it can be, and if you get that out of it, please be what. But this could be relationships, okay, friendships where people are codependent on one another, or we think there are friendships and for some reasons we hold on to that even though we know it's not good for us, okay. So the first one that I'm going to come out with, okay, is going to be the scenario that I did bring up earlier, alright. I'm going to tweak it slightly. Now, what it was about situations where we're in friendships, okay, maybe we feel that there are friendships, but we're kind of like codependent on one another, okay. There is a need, okay, rather than it being a reciprocal, or it's reciprocal because we have a need. We're not looking at our own abilities to get ourselves out of situations, deal with situations, so therefore we call on that other person. Now, it may be because, for example, within that instance, we don't feel that we have anywhere else to go to. Now, that's not true, all right? We always look on the worst scenario, the worst side of things, okay? In terms of, it could be around, we feel that we don't have money, financial is the issue. If I ask a certain other individual, I'm going to have to explain why I need their help. For an example, it could be a long-standing passed away issue where reliance or our inability to manage our finances, but it's a lesson that we need to learn, and we still need to learn. We go to that other person because it's easier, even though the relationship itself is not easier, because it makes us feel just as bad. Now, I'm going to explain myself a little bit more so into that, okay, from the example that I pulled from the cards earlier. Now, what it came about was a car that was in need of repair, okay. Now, this could be, for example, we need the car for our children, we need to get them to school. It could be we need it for work purposes, okay. It may be that we need to take a long journey and we know the car is not in the best need of it's in a state of repair, it needs a repair, okay. However, we have overspent on other things, okay. Now, it comes to the point where we need help. Now, it may not be that it's a case that we've overspent. It just may mean that our finances have been stretched through no fault of our own, okay. Now, it could be that in the past we may have overlooked certain things, or we knew it was coming up, okay. However, other things had cropped up, but the people that we could go to or ordinarily would ask, maybe we've kind of already gone to prior, okay, for other things. Maybe we just don't want to divulge our situation because we don't want to burden them with a scenario, okay. So we're going back to the reliance of the codependent relationships, i.e. those people that we know pretty much are an easy bet, but there's going to be a catch, okay. Now, that catch could be that there's going to be favour, it's going to be a put down, there's going to be a feeling that when we come away from that scenario, it's not going to be ideal, all right. Now, this is where I'm getting to this point about these bad habits, and we're going to go on the series of readings that I've got in front of us, where there's a karmic lesson that is going to be learned with the series of events over the next 2 to 6 weeks potentially, okay, where this luck is going to run out, or this situation is going to run out of legs one way or another. Now, it's going to either end up where there are going to be a breakaway entirely because the situations just can't keep persisting, in terms of you're going back to those knee-jerk reactions of, I'd rather go to that scenario than the other scenario, okay, because it's going to make me grow up, it's going to make me go forward, it's going to make me have to stand on my own independence, okay. Because this scenario that we've got here is either going to end up in a volatile situation where something's going to give in terms of attitudes, okay, where somebody may overstate something to you and you will snap, okay. Something called snap, i.e. a repair that just cannot be fixed or salvaged, okay, will end up costing you more because you're going to have to go out and pay it, okay? And the relationship with that individual, you will suddenly realise that friendship or that codependent relationship will fall down from that. There will be no need to go back, okay? Potentially it could be something that was said as well, or make you aware of that relationship, okay? Or there will be a situation within that where you will see that person in terms of, and they will see you, where the value of the relationship is not, it's just not there anymore. It's past its due by date, okay? Now, like I say, this can be relationships, either friendships, it can be a family relationship, okay? And it can also be a situation where it could be an ex, okay? And that's a past relationship that you can no longer use that even. And I will even go to the odd one-nighter, weekender, where they've moved on potentially and you didn't know about it, onto somewhere else where they've now got a potential new relationship, and your kind of weekend kind of odd nighter isn't going to get you that bargaining favour to get things like repairs fixed on a car, okay? Because there's no value there anymore. I hate to say it, guys. Like I said, the next few weeks you're going to start seeing the wood for the trees, where relationships, okay, are going to be outdated. The shifts, the trends, the way things have been are going to no longer sustain, all right? Now, this can come into even old relationships where past people have maybe made an error, are going to see their errors of their ways, because karma does not forget an address, guys, okay? Karma is going to be coming back round now, and it's going to kick people into touch in terms of where there have been those injustices you may be doing to yourself. It's going to kick you finally out of stalemate situations, old situations, and get you to now move into the future. Now, what I am going to say to you guys is there are some absolutely brilliant karmic interventions going on within now, all right? And you need to start rolling with them, because those new relationships are coming in. Now, they may not just be new romantic solutions, okay? I know a lot of people are looking for new relationships now, but these can come in via new friendships that you start forming with new people, or reasserting new relationships, okay? Or old relationships that maybe your past relationships have kept you away from friendship groups that you're now going back into, but as a newly evolved individual, because of the circumstances that you've now come out of, that are going to propel you forward into new situations and scenarios where you can go on to meet new people via these relationships, okay? So don't be sitting there going, oh, well, I'm never going to meet, and it's only going to be on date. No, it's not. There are going to be chapters and new avenues for you to be able to go down now, okay? New experiences, new adventures, new things that will come in, because you may be going to new places, meeting new people via these people, going to functions, events. Don't forget, we have got openings coming back up now, okay? Where, all right, there's still limitations attached to that, but there are new people still going to be in situations the same as you, where they are going to be coming out of relationships themselves, and going to be starting to be ready to meet new people like yourselves, okay? People have had enough of being cooped up. People have had enough of being online. People have had enough of wearing masks. They want to be interacting. They need that interaction. So please don't be thinking, because of all the lockdown and all of the things that we have been through, that there are not new relationships to start getting yourself into. Now, those of you that are in relationships, okay, you again are going to need to start clearing out that clutter from things that have gone by, okay? Like they say, let bygones be bygones, okay? Because there are some new openings and avenues for a lot of people to start afresh. Now, there is a lot of scenarios here where there have been exes looming about. There have been situations that have been looming about. Most of those, like I said previously, they should have come up and have been discussed. Now, again, we have got a lot of ex relationship energies within the cards, about the bad habits, about the situations, about doing the same old shit. Do you know what I mean? Again and again and again. Now, again, this is all talking about, okay, how you can start changing things up. Now, we've got a lot of this codependency where people are refusing to still let go of cycles because, for whatever reason, people are not wanting to change and go with the new ways of moving forward. Cycles are never going to revert back. We now know that. We all have known that for the longest time. But people are still trying to do things the same way. And the problem is, a lot of people have changed. They have changed how they feel about things. They are now starting to look at, you know what? I want fresh starts. I want a new beginning. I want a change. I need that change, okay? However, because of scenarios have always been the same week to week, day to day, now things have changed, jobs have changed, people's places of work have changed, blah de blah. It's got to a stage now where there needs to be full acceptance of moving on and moving out of cycles. Now, some of this is around family and healing and allowing, okay, for changes to come in and allowing people to kind of get to grips with closure. Now, a lot of this is coming around relationships that have been over, but people are moving on into new relationships, okay? Now, it would stand to reason that, given a lot of the economic climate, given the way things have been so very difficult, that there have been people that may have jumped into or are now starting to think about cohabitation, okay, which is, in some instances, people would be going, oh, what, so soon, and all the rest of it. The thing is, a lot of relationships that have been forged have potentially been done over crisis periods, okay? Now, a lot of people go, well, how can that work? If they have gone through certain situations that have been quite difficult and they're still together, people have come out of very traumatic, difficult relationships, have met people and they've found solace. A lot of people will have obviously met people that they do gel with. They are in very different relationships, okay, and need the chance, as does everybody else, to kind of have their moments where they start to actually make the realization, yes, this is for me, no, it's not. I've come out of a difficult relationship and actually, no, I now want to be on my own, or yeah, I actually want to move forward with this and this is the way to go. And they are closing the door and chapters from previously. Now, there are, like I say, going to be those people that are wanting to come back, and then the others that have moved on or have had to lick their wounds and deal with that and move on, don't want them back. And there are going to be those scenarios where they're not going to go back at all. So those people that are chasing that dream, I would probably say just let it go. Most of the scenarios where people are coming back in, okay, I will honestly say to you, just don't do it. Look at where and the situation you are now, okay? And most of you are either going to be still thinking that person coming back in, well, you know, I've done the work and they've had their time out now, and do you know what, actually, you know, I definitely definitively want them back. You need to look at the scenario and the situation, okay, as to why you split up in the first place. Because I'm going to be absolutely honest with you and very, very blunt with you. With what I've got in front of me, in front of the cards here, there's no change. Okay, you've changed, they've changed, but the situation that was left behind has not. Okay, and it ended after a series of reasons and those build-ups that actually there is no reckoning from that. The trust has been gone. Like I said to you, this bad habit, what is it about this bad habit that you want to go back to? Is it potentially to say, I told you so, to get a power rebalance, okay? Is it to prove a point? And whom are you proving that point to? Are you saying because I love them? What is it about that situation and that individual that you loved, okay? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you, seeing the series here, I've got to be honest, you're only going to get back a damaged situation. I do not believe that the individuals that will be returning are going to be doing anything majorly different to what they were doing before, okay? Apart from rehashing, re-bringing up those old wounds, because you are going to be asking a series of questions about why they left, what happened. You're going to be replaying that scenario back in your mind. You are not going to fully trust that individual. You are going to be waiting for that situation to replay out again, okay? I don't think they are going to do enough, okay, for you to actually be able to move forward and be fully satisfied and happy within this new chapter with this individual. If there was cheating involved, trust issues involved, abuse that was involved, it's not going to have changed. And you have not done anything, okay, in terms of changing yourself to accept that back into your life. Because if you had changed enough, you will be willing, when that person, and I challenge you to not do this, to pick up that phone and be texting them back, either playing games with them or initiating that meetup for the intents and purposes for them to come straight back into your life. If you are able to facilitate a series of meetings without sleeping with that individual, for them to actually demonstrate to you that they are absolutely 110% engaged, willing to engage, to show up and actually treat you like the individual that you want to be treated, then perhaps I would be halfway into believing that what I'm seeing in here could be playing out differently. But I would like to know what their agenda is and the purposes that they are returning back to you, especially if there had been another individual in the mix here, okay? And has that other individual truly left the building? Because what I'm seeing here, even if they are not still in the game, they will still be in your head. And therefore that third party will still be in the mix, okay? So what I'm saying here, if you are going to be bringing somebody back in, or that individual comes back into your life, you need to really sit your ass down and ask yourself why you're even entertaining opening that door back up and allowing them to come in without at least asking them why. Okay? Because for majority of you, the main thing that you will need to be looking at is building your security. There is a lot here about a lot of people that have come out of relationships that have been working extremely hard to get up and go to work every day and get their lives back on track, okay? Getting their foundations built up, concentrating on their jobs, concentrating on their money, because I guarantee you that a lot of you that have been in scenarios where you have been made to be on your own or starting again or building yourself back up has been through that scenario. Your finances took a massive big hit, okay, or relationships that you were in fundamentally messed up or mucked up some of your financial stability, okay, and that is where you've been focusing on what you're going to do next. It's giving you the ability to concentrate on you as an individual. Now I want you to ask yourself the question, if that person was to come back in, is it going to enhance that, or is it going to detract away from you? I always say to people, when you are with somebody, if you notice that your job, your finances, your stability starts to be affected, then you know you're in the wrong relationship. Because partnerships should be enhancing your stability. They should be enhancing your finances. You should be working together. You should be striving for a purpose. There should be a balance. Now, I'm not saying that within how things have been with COVID and that there have been certain scenarios where it's not been somebody's fault that they've lost their job. Not at all. I don't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is that when your relationship starts going wrong, it starts affecting your ability to go to work. It affects your ability to see straight. It can be a distraction for you having days off work. You can be overspending. You're supporting somebody else's lifestyle. You end up being the breadwinner, that other person takes a back seat, so on and so forth, okay? There's excuses because you're depressed or they're in and out of your life. They start messing with you mentally. You're depressed, you take days off work, you have sick leave. You know what I'm trying to say. A lot of you will have come out of those cycles, as I've said, and it will have noticed, or other people have noticed, a significant difference in you. Now, it can also be that maybe you've been on social media or you've been putting yourself a little bit out there where you're starting to look better, you're starting to dress better, you're starting to feel better, you're starting to do things, you're going out more socially. Your complete persona, demeanour, everything about you has systematically changed because you're starting to move forward. Now, isn't it ironic when people start seeing you in the best version of yourself, not when you sat there eating copious amounts of Ben and Jerry's or whatever else it is that you want to do, and you're in your old Netflix and chill mode where you're in your shitty pyjamas and onesies and whatever else it might be, looking a lot better, feeling a lot better, being out there is suddenly attractive. And when people start seeing you in the best version of yourself is usually when people want to come back in. Don't be a fool and chuck away the things that you've been able to sustain, okay? Because this is when you are going to be completely tested, all right? Now, like I said, majority of you are going to be finding that now you're in this version is when things are going to start opening up. Opportunities are going to start opening up for you. Please don't do yourself that disservice and go backwards, because this is what I'm saying at this precise moment when things are starting to move forward. All right, everybody's got that thing now where they're starting to focus on the future, okay, and see openings and opportunities, starting to actually get their lives back on track, or seeing that they need to, all right, is when you're going to start having these things coming in and presenting themselves to you. There are going to be choices. Now, like I said, this doesn't have to be coming in on just romantic relationships. This can also be around people where they haven't been around. This might be like old friendships, okay, where people start seeing you doing a lot better and suddenly start coming back in, asking for favours. Family might start coming back in, seeing you doing a little bit better, asking you for favours, so on and so forth. You need to be looking at the situation and weighing things up and going, now that I've been actually able to make myself a lot more independent, I'm now actually in a better place, I'm a better version of myself. Do I really need to be going back to these things? If I am around those things, I suddenly start to feel negative about myself or the situations, okay? I'm having to explain things to other people. The power of no is going to be in your control, okay? Start learning to own that, okay? Because this is going to be something that a lot of you are going to need to start putting into your vocabulary. It does not make you selfish. It does not make you anything other than, up until this point, I've now actually learned to be confident about myself and actually learn to be appreciative of the things that I bring to the table. Because a lot of you will have been coming out of relationships where they were not reciprocated. All right, there was not the balance. Now, just because I'm not just talking about here what the earning potential of somebody is, or what somebody has got in terms of material value. It may be that you're with another individual and people are saying, well, why are you with that person? You know, they don't, and they're not on your scale. Well, last year you were doing this and now you're doing that, and that person's that, and you know, what's going on here? The value of what you get from somebody on an emotional level is going to speak volumes. There is so much now, okay, that has changed in terms of appreciation, okay, of what other people bring to a table. I would say a lot of people from the last year and a half, okay, have now suddenly started to discover what relationships are about, who is valuable to them, what resources are necessary to sustain relationships, what resources are needed to keep things going. Now, yeah, money is an ideal commodity. It's a very useful commodity. We all know having money makes life a lot easier. It's what makes the world go round. But as we also know at the moment, money isn't just there. It's not the only thing that makes the world go round. Friendships, valuing ourselves and valuing other people and the things that people can do. They may have skills that we don't have, vice versa. And it's that sort of thing that is going to be essential, and the most essential thing that is going to be invaluable moving forward together with other people. Now, it's interesting because I had the 5 of Michael. We've got a lot of loss and regret, okay, looking back on maybe, yeah, the things that we did used to have. And that can be in terms of work, it can be in terms of money, it can be in terms of emotional stability, family, friendships, hurt from where situations have broken down. How do we go about building things back up? Do we need to? Okay, and that's the question. Do we need to? What do we need to have in our lives going forward? How we can sustain stability going forward in the best of ways, all right? Release your attachment to the outcome and consider taking a more uplifting approach. Now, like I say, looking back, especially within the relationship arena, okay? And I was sort of saying to you about why we go to or back to certain people, certain situations, rather than looking at our own style of communication, our own styles of relationships, why we do the things that we do, okay? Now, if that means, for an example, that with not looking at our patterns of behaviour, I would rather go to that more painful situation and admit my flaws than actually address my fears as to why I won't actually go and actually deal with a situation outrightly and admit to myself I've got an issue with money, I've got an issue with saving, I've got an issue at admitting that this is my weakness rather than my strength. I need help with this scenario. I'd rather go to somebody that isn't going to question me because that's how they know me as, rather than actually I now need to put my big girl pants on or my big boy pants on and go, do you know what, I'm going to face this outright and actually change this quality about myself because I don't like it and it keeps coming up. I need to address this situation once and for all. These are the types of scenarios that are going to start playing out and coming out, and we are going to have to start dealing with them in order to move forward, okay? Because they're only going to crop up and crop up. I'm just using the money analogy, okay? This can go in many, many ways, okay? Consider taking a more uplifting approach. Actually, by doing that, is actually going to give you a sense of achievement. All right, I've actually got this, I can do this, this is going to make me independent, this is actually going to make me more attractive to another individual. They're actually going to see that quality in me that I am trying. Okay, it's self-respect. All right, going forward, it's going to be something that you can actually go, do you know what, I've got this, and it's actually because of the relationships I've been in before. Maybe I've got to prove a certain point, I've got to behave in a certain way. Actually, that person accepts me. This is my self-acceptance as well, that okay, it's going to mean that I've got less cash in my pocket for the next couple of months, but you know what, they still like me. I don't have to prove anything. This isn't about like keeping up with the Joneses, or do you know what, people are only going to like me if I'm driving that kind of car, or I've got to suddenly now say I'm sorry I can't go somewhere because do you know what, I've got to pay for that. Instead of being that yes person, I've got to pay for that, and I'm going to be living on my credit card for the next like 2-3 months playing catch up, because actually I could have paid it with that cash, but I've been making out I have, you know, I've got this money when I haven't. It's little excuses and what we've been getting used to, and suddenly actually acknowledging the fact that, you know what, who I am, and as I rock up, and this is what I've got, and this is what I'm about, is what is going to be a very refreshing change. And actually, I think of people that are going to be around you and that you move forward with, and by being honest about the individual that you are, is going to be actually an eye-opener. Okay, I hope I'm making sense with where I'm going with this, because a lot of the things what are coming out is all about the new love, okay? Understanding people that are going to be coming into your life are going to be very, very different, okay? Scenarios, expectations, people that you're going to have around you. You're going to be attracting people, or people that are going to be around you now, or people that you're wanting to go towards, are going to be very different individuals than the ones that you used to be around, okay? It's also going to be this new love for yourself, okay? Like I was saying about this self-acceptance, having to have self-acceptance is going to be something that is going to be coming in, okay? This worth waiting for. Opportunities that are coming in for you now are going to be a lot different. things that you're going to have to work towards, work hard at, but you're going to be wanting to do it because time is going to be on your side, okay? And again, you're going to have more time, have more things to be focused on, all right, that are going to be worthwhile, rather than previously where your time was taken up with maybe some at times distracting and very unnecessary distractions, okay? There are going to be conversations at times that are going to be a little bit difficult for most, okay? And that is going to be around finances, your job. But I think these are going to be, with the new people, it's going to be a lot easier. With people from your past, it potentially might be more difficult. And a lot of this is going to be because of your past and how things were set up. As I say, things are going to be falling away now, all right? Now, in terms of families and dynamics, and especially I'm going to talk to more the males here in this more separation mode, okay? I go back to reconciliation, okay? Reconciling differences around separation. Now, I'm not talking about people getting back together. In fact, I don't think that is the case at all. Most people, if they're being very honest, we've got this change your life, okay? Sudden revelation that offers freedom, break free of procrastination, embrace the opportunities that change brings. I think these are very honest conversations for those of you that have got children and families, okay? And getting very real and honest with yourself as well about why you do things around the relationships with your extended family, okay? How the situations have got to where they are. Now, I think a lot of people, if we're all honest, whether or not there's been breakdowns, and obviously it's been difficult between the primary case, like the mum and dad, okay, and obviously relationships have come in, new or those that have been for a while. It's how this is going to start having dialogues with each other about how you're all going to be moving forward and wanting the best for both parties, okay? Because this is where that balance is going to come into equation. And again, with the children within the mix here as well, about how this is all going to be going on moving forward unilaterally, okay? Now, I get there is a lot of hostilities within some relationships from the past, and still is. But I do feel like there is a lot here, okay, that a lot of guilt needs to be let go of on both sides. And for a lot of fathers within the mix here, where guilt needs to be allowed to be let go of as well. By what I mean in terms of overextension sometimes with the children, okay, and the relationships that you have and go on to have with your children, okay. Again, stemming around finances. Now, I'm not talking about those you can't be asked to pay maintenance. I'm not going on about those that rock at every 3 years or every couple of months when they can be bothered. I'm talking about those that have been continually in their kids' lives, have always been in their kids' lives, and those that have stepped up, and those that have been made to feel guilty, or those that have been made to be the weekend dads and all the rest of it, and haven't always been given the appreciation that they should have. And also the fact that it is okay at times for you guys to also say no and putting your foot down. especially around some sort of conversations that need to be had. All right, it's not always about money and playing off parents on each side, okay? And it's not always being made to be guilt tripped into just giving one way streets either. Especially for those of you who've got older children, okay, where you may need to be standing by the other parent and actually being unified, especially in certain scenarios where the word no potentially needs to come from both parents here, both parties. You've got here standing up for what you believe in, have confidence and claiming your personal power. And again, I was saying about maybe there being too many options open and available, especially around kids and in the divisional families, like I was saying. Where especially for some reason I'm picking up more on that it being the male that needs to be the one who saying no, and actually not being guilt tripped for whatever reason it is, okay, into giving in to certain demands or certain expectations, okay, from children. I don't know why I got that so strongly, but that seems to be coming through. Ironically, like you're saying, all of the cards that I've got here are all saying about when you give, you also receive, being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. A lot of this, for whatever reason, is all coming through around money. Okay, onus being put on time in terms of people trying to sustain, being made to kind of feel guilt around money or a lack of money, money being the way instead of time. Okay, so it's like buying somebody with money rather than time. Okay, maybe being kind of, like I was saying, used in that way. No, I can't see, but I need this. What you're giving in terms of monetary value, and what you're getting back, where dynamics need to change, feeling that you've got to apologise because you don't have that amount of money, and feeling a lack of confidence or feeling not good enough because you can't provide in the way you used to, seems to be a big thing here. Like I say, there's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of eye-opening events, I feel, around family dynamics, friendship dynamics, one-on-one relationships, in terms of expectations or how people have been getting away with certain expectations on people, and people actually now seeing things for how they truly are. Okay, in some respects the honeymoon being over, okay, but some people also meant moving into a period of being comfortable and actually welcoming the relationships, or new relationships, or the dynamics, the way relationships are now forging, okay, because it's a very different expectation being placed on them. It's not about what I can give financially, materially. It's about accepting me for who I am, and relationships being based on who you are as an individual and how you show up, okay? Like I said, there's going to be a lot of unrequited love, okay, and knowing that you deserve love, okay, and relationships coming in. You finally actually understanding what relationships are right in your life, okay, and booting out those that are no good. That is going to be showing up in every aspect of your life over the next 6 weeks, okay? And there is going to be nothing that you can do about it. It's going to get more and more uncomfortable, because at one point or another, things are going to come out, things are going to be said, things are going to show up, you are going to see things. It's going to be undeniable, okay, about moving forward, where people, places and things are going to be taking you or not taking you, sitting with you well or not. You've got an excellent opportunity will be offered to you. Scholarships or the pursuit of education. New work. It's time to get to work on both family, friendships, partnerships and work, okay? There are going to be, like I say, things coming in quickly, opportunities handed to you. There are going to be doors opening for you, and there are going to be so many avenues closed off and doors closing off, and you will, some of you will have the urge to go back. You will have people coming in trying to come back, okay? I am telling you now, there are going to be very few people that come back into your life, very few people, okay, that are going to come in with the right intentions, okay? There are going to be very few people that will get back with people and it working out long term. There will be those situations that come back from the past that will just come in for a time to show you something. And there may well be people from the past that come back in for a reason and they do stay, okay? But they will be very different intentions, and it will be down to you to discern between which ones that you want. But I guarantee that the majority of them that come in that you have still not played out those lessons with, okay, you will get burnt and it will end. So I will honestly say to you guys that if it is something that you know and that you've known, I just want to take that card. There you go. You've got the Rebel card, because fuck it. I will honestly say to you, you've got the Stop Obsessing, Show Regret and Guilt. Those are just bullshit and I've just been talking about it. It's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. Stop blaming others for your shit. Like I'm saying, if you go back, it will be your fault, okay? If other people come back and they give you a load of like crap excuses, you know damn well that it was their fault. What are you doing? Why you keep giving these people centre stage to come back in? And it was funny because we did have Stop Obsessing, you're not the fucking centre of the universe, okay? It's also you stop obsessing about somebody else coming back in, because when they do come back in, you're going to realise they ain't all that, okay? Get some sleep. You are being an arse because you're tired. Face the pillow now, okay? You need to start getting your rest, really thinking about things methodically, okay? You've also got shame, regret and guilt. Those are just bullshit, okay? Forgive it and let that shit go. And like I say, for those fathers, those males out there, okay, that have got kids and you're kind of like feeling really bad, you've got regrets about losing jobs, or there's things with finances, maybe you're not able to get stable, or right, you've mucked up. At the end of the day, you've got the opportunities to put things right, okay? But that doesn't mean about the relationship with your ex. It's about the relationship with your kids. There are two very separate situations, okay? There is ability here, okay? We've got fuck shit is about to get real. Make better choices around that, okay? How can you actually try to bury the hatchet, not in each other's heads, but actually talking to each other or limiting the talking and getting it back on track slowly, okay? Situations with your kids, stop getting them in the mix, all right? It's not about piling money on them, it's not about spending loads of money, it's about that quality time, all right? If it's about them actually getting to know another individual within their life, it takes time, all right? But at the end of the day, there's also respectfulness that needs to be coming in and being shown on all sides of the fence, okay? And the ability to learn to say no and mean it, and actually start teaching kids boundaries, okay? I'm going to leave it there, guys, okay, because I don't want to step over the mark. I don't want to be upsetting people, but this is what I am seeing here very significantly, okay, over the next 6 weeks. There's going to be big game changers, things coming out, people showing who they really are, okay, things being exposed, especially around, like I say, around relationships, in really positive ways and in some extreme negative ways, okay? Try not to get into altercations, try not to actually lose your temper, try to actually keep your rationale, try to actually walk away from scenarios and actually suss yourself out while you're reacting to those situations and scenarios that are cropping up, okay? And what you can do to rectify it. Start facing your fears as well. Actually start looking at yourself and going, I need to be that adult now. If you know you are doing the same patterns around finances, okay, you fall back into those patterns. What is triggering it? Why are you doing it? What are you avoiding? What is a distraction? Okay, again, around groups, okay, your self-worth, your value and your self-respect. These are going to be some massive big things that are going to be coming up. Insecurities, jealousy, and also inadequacy, okay? So check yourself, keep yourself balanced, see what you can do and see how you can navigate and work through these issues and come out the other side where you can actually give yourself a pat on the back and go, do you know what? I actually can look at myself now and go, I've got this. Take care of yourself, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.